Hi, I'm Mark Bittman. And thanks to Signature Kitchen Suite, I'm here in Trout Lake, Washington. With a name like Trout Lake, you might think I was here to talk about fish. But actually, I'm here to meet with a family of cheesemakers who literally stumbled on the secret to making some of America's most interesting cheeses. Cheese is a living thing, and in a way, that makes a cheesemaker a parent. And that parent has to really take care of and develop this living thing. It starts with the best possible milk. It continues with the best possible location, the correct technique, the right amount of time and aging, a brilliant palate. All of these things go into making cheese. We're gonna have a look at how that's done. Hi, Marci, John.
Hi, Mark.
So I'd like to know how you got here, this amazing place, and there's got to be a cool story behind that. Tell me the story.
Way back when we were looking to move out of the city and be closer to nature and raise a family, immediately we thought of Trout Lake. And we thought, we really just want to root here. It's really an ideal place to live and raise a family.
So you got here with no jobs?
Got here with no jobs, basically. It was more like, hey, let's just get here and then figure it out. So I got to know the Pearsons, the dairy farming family, and we got to be friends, and I was like, hey, I want to learn about dairying because it just fascinated me. And I like cheese and milk. I had a passion for raw milk particularly. So as I was doing more and more and getting more involved, like, well, we got to pay you something. Well, give me milk. So I started making cheeses, and I started buying cows.
They were making cheese.
They weren't making cheese.
So you started making cheese.
I started making cheese.
Well, and we had discovered Trout Lake has a deep history in cheesemaking. Back in the war era, the U.S. commissioned scientists to find what caves in the U.S. would mimic the same conditions as the Roquefort caves in France. And so they only found 2 locations in the United States, one being in Trout Lake. As we were looking around and he started making more and more cheese, we're like, wow, we really need to find a cave.
So you're working in this dairy, you have more milk than you know what to do with. You start making cheese. Now what?
So this land used to be owned by the dairy when I was doing the internship. So I'm out in the pasture, and one of my jobs that day was watching for birthing cows. And I was on the edge of the field, and I saw like some grass blowing, so I went and checked it out, and there's just a hole in the ground. First thing I did is I got a temperature and humidity probe, and I lowered it down, gave it a day and pulled it out, and it was 54 degrees and 92% humidity, which is perfect.
When we discovered this cave and had the rights to use it, that changed everything because we can naturally age cheese.
So you find this thing, it's ideal, so you built this on top of it.
So we built this on top of it, right. And it was a long process of finishing out the cave itself so that it was food safe and licensable.
And so after John did a lot of work, excavating, building this cleanable, modern aging room within an ancient lava tube cave, we moved our cheese down, and literally within days, those rinds bloomed and took on a whole new life. This was literally ground up. Those that built this structure back here were actually our cheesemaking team.
So, okay, here's this cave. It's your dream. What do you do?
So I had a particular situation with the cave and the milk and the environment, and it was about what cheese can I coax out of that situation, not how can I make something else. It was about like, hey, let's play around with these different recipes and find out what wanted to naturally come out.
Okay, so why raw milk?
The milk starts out with its own biology. It's a living food. In a pasteurized product, you've killed off everything in the milk, and then you've added in exactly what you want. Maybe you have 3 organisms. A raw milk cheese can have up to like 100 different bacteria and organisms growing in it. Its complexity is the key to that.
So when you make cheese from pasteurized milk, you're taking basically a sterilized product.
Right.
And adding in, oh, I'm gonna make cheddar, so here's this, and this.
Right.
But you're not letting the milk sort of determine what the cheese
The
is
characteristics
going to be.
of the milk, the subtle flavors. Think of all the probiotics. There's a lot of probiotics in raw milk. There's also natural enzymes that aid digestion.
I have some bad news for you guys. People take their cheese and they wrap it in plastic wrap. I'm sure you don't like that.
No. Plastic is not ideal for cheese. It needs to maintain its moisture, but it also needs to breathe. You get cheese from the supermarket and it's wrapped in plastic. You need to get it out of that plastic. If you have wax paper, parchment paper, or even tin foil, it's better than plastic.
So often you're confronted with cheese in a supermarket and you don't know what's going on. There's some obvious advantages to cheesemongers. Maybe you could talk about that a bit.
Absolutely. I believe that if you have access to a specialty cheese shop, they will have true mongers there. And the mongers know cheese. They know the different styles of cheese. They know about who makes the cheese. They can tell you how to pair it. They can tell you how to serve it. When you get a cheese from a cheese shop, a monger will know just how to care for that cheese.
And then serving, storing and serving, because you throw the cheese in the refrigerator, but what if you can give thought to storage?
So it depends on what you want to do with it. In the low 30s, you've pretty much put it into complete stasis. There's no biology going on. In the mid 30s, the biology can keep going. You can keep aging a cheese. At the low 40s, you can actually develop a cheese. So it really depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to like, hey, I like it just the way it is, you're going to put it at the low 30s and stop it.
I wanted to thank you guys for having me out here because it is awesome. The cheeses are beautiful, and I'll be back. It's really great to be here. Thanks so much.
Love to have
Nice
you.
meeting you.